Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey, we're gonna get the car prepared to get her out for the season. She's been in storage all winter. As you know, I've been working on it, getting things done, put new parts on it and all that. But I want to make a video of bringing your car out of hibernation. What you should be checking, going through, making sure that she is ready to go top notch for the driving season. This week it's going to get up into almost 70 by Friday, and so I decided I'm going to take the car out. So why don't you hang around and let's get her all ready. Well, there's Jade in her glory. I pulled the blankets off that I had it covered with. She's dirty. She's a dirty girl. A lot of dust you can see built up on the sills, on top of the battery, down here on the suspension. So she's going to need a bath. I mean, along the doors, you can see dust all the way down the back. I did clean the hood. She is dirty. I cleaned the top a little bit. It needs a buffing. But yeah, there's a lot of dirt on her. That will come here once I get to pull it out. Before I take it on the drive, I'm going to give her a bath. But so the main thing we want to go through as of right now is checking your battery. You want to make sure that you got a good charge, which I've had it on my battery tender. It's been off of it for a week, so it's been sitting, but I do have the cutoff on the negative side, which if you buy one of these, put it on your negative side, not the positive. I had it over here back a few videos ago. Wrong. Put it over here. But it's off right now. You tighten it down, that makes a connection. You loosen it off, it disconnects it. I'm going to get my meter and I'm going to test and see where we're standing with voltage now that it's sat for a week. In the last video I did get it fired up, started, and we're going to do the same thing here with a cold start, but I'm going to test that battery, make sure we're good. Now I do got my amp meter. It's a cheapo, but hey, it does the trick. But you want to set it to where your decimal point is, it shows 0.0 to get your voltage. And we are going to just touch both the posts. If I can do this one-handed. Whoop, shit. God damn it. As you can see, 12.8, which is good. So I'm going to leave this sitting here on the car. Turn it off so it don't kill the battery, because I am going to test the alternator once we do get it started. Now I do have a GM style one wire on there, but I have been having an issue which I need to tend to, which it doesn't seem to affect the way the car runs or anything like that, is that my generator light, when you turn the key on, is supposed to show the light comes on the generator, then once you start the car, it's supposed to go out, which it does not. But I think it's because of the wiring, the way it's wired. I do have the alternator, Lucas alternator from off of my TR6. I am going to take this with me and have it tested to make sure it's still working. I've had it apart. I made sure everything was clean. It freewheels. It kind of looks like a wobble in there, but there's no wobble. It's just paint, but no grinding, no noise. So I'm going to take it and have it tested, because I would like to have this, if it works. It has the original wiring, the TR6 and the Spitfire were the same plugs. So I'm going to take and rewire this into the Spitfire. That's if it tests good. I'm not going to do it right now because we can start the car and run it and etc. But that's in the future. Now, one of the things I want to check is because I put this new radiator in. I ran it, got it up to running temperature off camera, and I have replaced the fluid. I just want to check and make sure that we have fluid in it, which we do. So just a touch on the low side, so I may top that off. But that was good. No leaking down below any of the hoses I installed. There's no leaks, so that's a plus. So the next thing we're going to test and check is the clutch and brake fluid. So we'll go over here and trying to set up the camera. Got to hunt around, work around the camera. But we're going to check our clutch fluid, which it's just a hair on the low side. It's about halfway up. I'm going to top that off. I have some .3, which that's what I use in both. And for some reason, if you feel, why did the fluid go down? Okay, the main thing you're going to want to check is if you've been losing fluid in the clutch, is you want to check down below here where the rod goes in, make sure there's no leaking coming out from the seal in the master, and then check your secondary, your slave cylinder on the transmission, because the rod that comes out of it has a boot and a rod that pushes the clutch arm. If it's leaking, then you need to replace the clutch master, which I've never replaced. I'm losing fluid, so I'm going to be looking at doing that real soon. I don't have any clutch issues, so it's working, but it's slowly weeping. So that's going to be a change. And when I put that in, I'm going to put in the remote, or make a remote bleeder for it, and it's just going to come up and attach to the bulkhead up here by the PDAW and the brake block, and that's where you can bleed your clutch instead of having to crawl underneath or cutting a hole in your transmission cover. The next is the brakes. Let's check that. That is good. That's always been good. This car has all new brake lines except from the master to the block. Same with the clutch line down there. If I got to change it, I'm going to change that. If I got to change the the clutch slave cylinder. Might as well change that. But you can see it's kind of rusty, but that's a newer line. All new line going back. New hose by the rear end, new lines to both wheels, new hoses. It's all fresh from here back. From here forward, no. I have rebuilt the calipers. If you look back in some of my videos, you will see that. Those are freshly rebuilt. These hoses up here in the front, I do need to change those. And while I am at it, I am going to change the hard line over from there's a junction block down below to where the line goes down right here. You can just barely see it right there. All new line to it, and then out of it, both sides. All new lines. I'll have to bleed down. But that's going to be another project. Brakes have never hung up, so it is still good. I drove all last summer that way, but I want to change them just because I know they're old, and since I got all fresh from here back, I might as well do the front. So we're good on fluids. I checked the oil. It is good. It's dark because I haven't changed it since last spring, which it has just over 1,100 miles. So I put just almost 1,200 miles on the car yet last season. But we're going to change the oil after we run the car to get it up to running temp. I'll have it prepared, warmed up, oil's thin, ready to go. Just pull it in, get it up in the air or on stands, and we'll change the oil out. That's going to be later, but as of right now, what we're working on is just getting it prepared to know we can take it for a maiden voyage and be ready for the season. But next thing I want to do is I want to check all the lights and make sure we're good to go there. I'm going to set you up here for a second while I put the hood down and to connect the battery, put the hood down, and we'll test the lights. We got the battery connected, bar it down. Now I'm going to reach in. Oh, I have an issue with this headlight switch. I need to get a new one. But I just turned it on to marker lights, which, yes, that one's working. On the side, working. Now we'll go back here. Side marker light is working. Both tail lights, both license plate lights are working. And just to get you over here to see if I can reach it with the camera. And working, so we're good there. I'm going to bring you back up front. You're on the tripod right now, so it's like a pain in the rear. But now I am going to give us headlights. Where's that? There it is. There's the headlights. High beams, low beams, dip switch. That is good. Now, we'll kill that. We don't need the headlights anymore. We'll leave the marker lights on. And I want to check reverse. So, next thing is I'm going to set you up back here to look at the back side of the car. because I'm not going to be able to see it. But we are going to toss it in reverse. And that should be reverse. No, maybe it's fifth gear. I don't know if I need to have the key turned on so far. Yeah, it's already on. Let's see. I do not have reverse lights. I wonder if I need to have it running. But let's just test the brake lights. Hit the pedal. I cannot tell from here. I'll have to review the video. But we have a issue with the reverse lights. So I am going to need to test that, turn them off. I am wiggling the stick shift. It's still in reverse. I can't see anything, so that's an issue. I want to get that squared away before we take it out on the road. But so we are good there. Let me turn the key off. Well, let me turn. I didn't have the key on. There's the reverse light. So they come on with the key. So that's good. Good. I don't have to contend with it. Take the back out of reverse. There we go. Nice. Okay. And the next thing you want to check is you want to make sure you want to check your tire treads. Make sure that they're not wearing side to side or cupping, anything like that. These are old tires. They are hard. I want to put new tires on the car before the season because I'm going to be doing some autocross. But you check them, check the pressures all the way around. These rims are dirty, but I am seeing about 28. I like to run my tires at about 30 all the way around. So we'll be tending to that. I'll check the rest of the tires. I ain't going to leave you watching all that, just checking the tires. But I'm going to write down the pressures and then top them all off to where I like them at. So the next thing I want to check is lug torque, because I have had these tires off and through the front tires I've had off. I haven't had the back off during the winter, but I want to check all of them, make sure they're good. And this, I have done the Rover stud conversion, going from the 5/16 stud to the 1/2-inch stud. If you do this conversion, you will need to change your lugs. These are Rover lugs, so they are for this style wheel. Now, if you have different wheel, like a steel wheel, you'll need acorn nuts or whatever for the right size. 21mm socket. When I had these off, I couldn't remember if I torqued them. I have this set at 60 pounds, and they are clicking. So I must have torqued them just when I put them back on. I can't recall if I did or not. So it's always good to check. I'm going to go around the whole car. Ain't going to leave you up to watch that. And then we'll move on. Okay, so we got this far. What I have to do today is I need to run into town. It's Sunday. My wife had surgery on Friday. I was tending to her all day yesterday, so I ain't able to get out in the garage to film. I do need to run to town. I got to get groceries, some prescriptions, and some other medical stuff for her. She's going on dialysis, peritoneal dialysis. They put the port in Friday, and she's hurting. She can barely stand up, sit down, bend over. When she coughs, it hurts. I can understand, because that's an invasive right through your stomach muscles, and they port down toward your groin, just right around your bladder, and then they port the tube under your skin to come up from it out the hole, the incision they make. Unfortunately, she had to go on dialysis. She wound up she was in stage 4 for the longest time, mid numbers in her creatinine levels, and then it dropped. It dropped right down to below, which is I'm not mistaken, I think it's 10% or 12%. Once it drops below that, you go into stage 5 and you have to go on dialysis. Her kidney's been failing for pretty much a couple years now, and she's reluctantly not wanting to go on dialysis, and it got to this point to where she should have been on dialysis when she went into stage 3. But she said no, because we had family members that had kidney transplants, and they were on dialysis, and some of them were living great, been living for years, and with it, and no issues. And we had a couple that passed away because of it, and that kind of scared her, so she didn't until now. Now she's forced to. So I've been taking care of my mother 5 days a week. I'm there about 6-7 hours a day, and now I got to tend to my wife. I got to attach her in the evenings, because the dialysis is through the night while she's sleeping. Averages about 8 hours. So I need to hook her up at night, disconnect her in the morning. We're getting a shipment of everything needed to do the dialysis, the machine, all the fluids and tubing and everything. So I have a lot going on in my life, but we are still planning on getting out and doing some things, because I need me time. I need time to get away from that. Tending to my mother, I'm there around 8:30 every morning, and I tend to her till about 3-4 in the afternoon. It all depends. She's going to be 89 years old, hard of hearing, hard of seeing. Someone's got to give her medication for breakfast, lunch, dinner, which my son's there for dinner, which is good. Thank you, Shane, for doing that. And then on the weekends, my daughter and my sister tend to her, plus Shane does. So that gives me weekend time. But with my wife now, that's going to be 24/7. Every day I got to help her out. She's going to be getting better, I'm hoping. But just to let you know, we'll be back at it here shortly later on today. It'll only be a couple seconds for you, but it may be, later today, or maybe even tomorrow, by the time I can get back to shooting, getting the car ready for the season. Yeah, I'm back. It is Monday afternoon. I got a couple hours I can tinker around. I've been running around a lot. I'll show you. I got the car down off the jack. We are going to be doing a cold start, so I can test this battery. It is dead cold. Been sitting, see, I'm holding on to the exhaust, and this thing is dead cold. So I just want to show you, since we put the new carburetor on, how with the electric fuel pump, how easy this thing starts now. Before, it was a real chore. You'd have to choke the hell out of it, and I gotta make sure it's out of gear. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the car on till the fuel pump comes on. To build pressure. And then I am gonna give the throttle 3 or 4 good whacks. Go full choke. She is out of gear. And fire her up. A couple more pumps. Just like how much easier this thing starts. We know the battery was at 12.8. That was the other day. Yesterday. Back to voltage. .14.6. So it is charging, which is good. Good. Now, I gotta move the camera to get out of there. So I need to take it down off a choke. Still a bit cold. I could have left the choke on a little bit, but I'm going to let it sit and warm up a hair. And then shut the bonnet and back her on out into the sun for the first time in months. need to move the escape here shortly because we are going to take it for a little ride. Might as well, right? But just to let you know, turn signals are working. I just forgot to test them. Good. It's a little bigger slab. I'll have to fix that. So I'm going to go move the escape and let her warm up a bit. I want to clean the windows and we'll take her for a ride. Okay, I didn't clean the windows. We just got her up and running. She's up to temp. Just over a quarter tank of fuel. Oil pressure's at 75. Here, I'll flip you around and show you. Half tank of fuel, or water temps. Always been there, maybe a little higher. Just over a quarter tank of fuel. Oil pressures at idle. Let's see, it should stop right around 50. That's where she usually goes. Yep. Voltage is saying just under 14. So let's go for a rip. Hard to shift, trying to hold the camera at the same time, but okay, I am smelling oil, burnt oil, so maybe I should pitch it around. Let's see where it's coming from. It's not real bad. See if any smoke comes up through the hood or under the hood. Which it does not. So we'll head back. But it handled so much more pep to her. Yeah, now I'm smelling the oil again. good to get her out. My tack still ain't working. Need to tend to that. And there's the ignition light that stays on. But we changed the alternator. I'm hoping that takes care of it. Clutch is working fine. I only got about an inch of movement on the pedal till you feel some sort of engagement. That's good. And they still need to change that slave cylinder. Sorry about all the bouncing, but we'll park out here and enjoy the sun. It's like 62 out right now. Okay, I'm gonna try and wedge myself out of this thing. It's like climbing out of a clown car. Don't see any oil leaking. Nothing's burning. There's a little bit of wettage right there below the dipstick on the pan. And I think no oil on the back side of the head or anywhere. She still needs a tuning. No leaking anywhere. For a Triumph, that's pretty damn good. Triumph, they marked their territory. Okay, let me get you on the stand and we'll see. I just gotta write down that I want to tune that carburetor. And I'll throw a screwdriver in the car sometime, and here within this week we'll be doing a little bit of tuning with it. Yeah. Now that we would be back and we're warmed up, I would be doing the oil change, but I don't have oil to put back in, and so I got to get that. I do have filters. I got plenty of them. So that'll be the next time I take it out for a little drive afterwards. We know all the lights work. Brakes are working fine. Just needs a little tuning on the carburetor. Windows need cleaned. It needs a bath. And before you go out on one of your first voyages, throw away a toolkit in the back. I do have a kit made up. I think I showed that in one of my other videos. That, you know, when I carry some open end wrenches, box end wrenches, some pliers, this electrical tape, duct tape, zip ties, extra fuel filter, some electrical wire, shrink wrap, just things you may need if these old girls decide to say, I'm done for right now. I'm going to take a break until you fix me. But, so, yeah, that's a good little start to the summer. Get out. I got to figure out why I was smelling that oil, but it maybe just because it sat, you know, for so long. You don't see it coming out anywhere in any smoke or anything. But it does run a ton better with that carburetor and header. Get you out of the sun. So I'm happy with that. I still need to move the fuel filter or the fuel pump and the inertia switch into the back. That will come up. Probably won't show it on the video. But now that I have her fired up, running, and good to go for the season, it's going to be time to, I don't know if you can see out there, right beside the shed, 73 TR6 shell and chassis. And then that chassis is going to be coming into the garage because we're going to start on this one. We're going to put a new frame underneath it. Well, the other frame, this frame's junk. So we're going to start tearing her down. Just what we need to get the body off, take the front clip off, the hood off, all that. We'll figure out how to get it lifted. And this is going to be a restoration. It's not going to be a restoration. We're going to just do like we did with the Spitfire. Just do what needs to be done. Make it kind of presentable. And the rust, just put stuff on it to keep it from rusting anymore. Rust killer. And then I may even put a Poppy's patina on there, a wipe-on patina. But, I don't know. We'll see when that time comes. But this project is starting soon. Now that we got good weather and I can put the Spitfire somewhere. Let me get you back out of the sun again. But the idea is get the Spitfire completely, well, she's about ready to go. Pull this out. I'm going to park it off to the side. So this is where the Spitfire will live. Bring the other frame in. Put it in the garage. I need to start doing the rest of the body work on the wife's car and my truck. But I can do that in the driveway at nice days. I'd rather do it out in the driveway. Now I don't get rust and grime and crap and Bondo dust and everything all over my garage. But so the Spitfire will go in here. The TR6 will be parked off to the side until it's time to bring it in. We'll start on the frame, get it done and out of the way. So then the next project would be to get this in front of the garage, pull the motor and tranny, because it's going into that chassis. And then once it's in that chassis, we pull the body and swap. So that just kind of an idea of what my ideas are. It may change. You never know, you know. But hey, I thank you guys for hanging out. Beautiful day in northwestern Pennsylvania. I had to get the car out. It's ready. You know, why wait? So if you guys are up here in the, you know, Ohio, New York, PA, Michigan, anywhere up north, You guys up in Canada, you're probably going to have to wait a little bit longer, but it's nice down here. So start getting your cars ready. Okay, thank you guys for hanging around. Leave a comment. What do you think? Also, it's a good way for me to find your channel. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe. I'm noticing my analytics that my 80% of my viewers are not subscribed. It's free. If you like this stuff and you want to see more, click the subscribe button. Mash the bell notification and click all that will let the algorithm know and tell you that I've just posted a new video. But give me a big thumbs up and not the finger. And hey, check out that video. You might like it. You might not. If you don't, go watch something else. See you later.